Right now.
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 Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right
Right
now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now.
All right, my friends, welcome to a late night writing stream where I'm working on the third draft of my dark fantasy novel, The Last Scarecrow. So, as always, I'm going to take you through what my process is as I do a read aloud mixed with a minor line edit. Feel free to come join along, drop a comment, hang out, or just kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. So, I'm in the middle of Act 2, and I'm still kind of going over some feedback that I received from my editor. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Kaufman, daily writing streamer, been writing all my life, and I'm on a mission to help you with finishing your books. So come join me and let's write now. Okay, so as you can see, I already have my software all set up over. Hey, what's up, Francisco? Welcome, my friend. Okay, so hope the writing vibe is treating you well. And okay, so I'm currently going through feedback of chapter 14. I need to get myself into the writing vibe. So when I need to get myself into the writing vibe, I read through the last section that I'd gone over. I've reviewed that, so I've gotten feedback from an alpha reader for this chapter. So far, I've only gone through the feedback for about the first third of the chapter, but because I kind of need to get myself into the vibe, I'm going to read through the beginning of it because I need to get myself into the mindset. Always an excellent strategy if you haven't been writing in a while, or you just need to push yourself to write now. Okay. So let's see what we see. Scarecrow and friends are traveling to the gardens. Scarecrow has just encountered a new strange creature with a feisty attitude who is accompanying them. Okay. Chapter 14, Cult of the Moonflower. Scarecrow marveled at the golden twilight which hung over the surrounding grasslands. The sun remained steadfast above the horizon, while the moon, hanging back, remained hidden by cloud cover. A gentle breeze swept through the air, carrying a subtle melody like a whisper long forgotten. The fields of crops and vegetables grew numerous on either side. The meticulous dirt trails held no weeds or stray rocks, and the dirt-drawn arrows stayed their compass. Scarecrow stopped near a group of flowers sprouting between stalks of vegetables. At the sound of his rumbling stomach, he couldn't resist reaching out for a carrot. Bringing it to his mouth, he prepared to bite down. Wouldn't do that if I were you, Strawbrain, Pebble cautioned. She now sat on his left shoulder, arms crossed, opposite Mr. Crow, who had fallen into a deep slumber. The pebble-sized rock still lay beside her. But it looks so fresh, Scarecrow whined. His stomach growling. Not the issue, the pixie. We're not at. She doesn't know that. Pebble shrugged and shook her head. Head tilted, his gaze steady as they waited for a reply that never came. Head tilted, his gaze steady as he waited for a reply that never came. Let's see. Scarecrow tilted his head, gaze steady. Scarecrow tilted his head, gaze steady, as he waited for a reply that never came. Finally, she threw up her hands in the air. Fruit is scarce around here. All the more reason. Not what I meant. She stomped on his shoulder. Dumb words. What I meant. She trailed off. Flinging his arm toward the bountiful crops of vegetables they had passed, he retorted. Doesn't look scarce. She shrugged. Not real food. Just saying. Scarecrow rolled his eyes and took a bite out of the carrot. The sweet, crisp taste was delightfully refreshing. Was it that good, or was he that hungry? About to take another bite, a flash of movement out of the corner of his eye caused him to spin around. Who's there? He cried out. The flowers and vegetables swayed with a passing gust of wind, carrying whispered melodies. Then silence. Glancing at Pebble, she shrugged again, muttering, "What do I care?" Scarecrow turned his attention to the carrot, but it was gone. He looked around. It was nowhere to be seen. Pebble only offered him an "I told you so" look. eyes wide, smirking. He sighed. Once they got to these gardens, he'd eat more. His stomach could wait. The deteriorating straw frame of his could not. He returned to the last star in the dirt and pushed on. Scarecrow marveled as they passed fields dipped in gold by the strange twilight. A gentle breeze blew past them. Pausing, if he listened hard enough, a hum of voices threaded through the silence. He looked around. They were alone. Just wind. He shivered. Turning his gaze to inspect himself, he lifted the front edges of his coat, growing concerned. If I don't get some straw or stuffing in me soon, I'm likely to fall apart, I think. The pixie Pebbles snorted. Good luck finding those around here. Might as well shove some dirt up your straw pipe and call it a day. Scarecrow stopped. There's no straw or stuffing in the gardens? No, why would there be? With a scratch of his head, he shrugged. Other scarecrows? I've traveled these lands far and wide, she said, turning toward him with fists on hips. And never have I seen a scarecrow before. Why would you think? Mr. Crow, Scarecrow blurted out with a shake of his shoulder. And save the younglings, the crow squawked as he shook his head awake, half-opened eyes landing on them. I thought you said there was straw or stuffing in the gardens. Food makes dirt and gardens grow? He cawed. The bird cawed, eyes blinking rapidly as if it all made sense. Pebbles slammed onto her side with a bout of laughter. In between fits of hysteria, she blurted out, Strawbane and Birdbrain, burn in duo. Scarecrow clenched his fists, refraining from shoving the crow away. Okay, let's just get to these gardens and we'll figure out what to do next. In a sudden change in demeanor, Pebble hopped to her feet. We're already in the gardens. Wait, we are? Then why didn't... Those clumsy feet of yours were the only bait I needed. Now shush, servant, she whispered and paused, raising an ear to the air. Listen. Scarecrow scanned the fields for any sign of life. The vegetable and flower beds cast long shadows, blanketed only by the golden twilight glow of the parting sun. A soft breeze swept through the air, carrying a subtle melody. That is... I repeated that. That is the third. I mean, it is kind of drawing attention to it. I've used melody 3 times so far. Okay. That's not just me, Scarecrow said with relief. I heard that before. Set us free, Mr. Crow murmured, gently rocking his head back and forth. Pebble squatted down, head low. They're here. A gust of wind. Hello? Scarecrow asked the breeze. Welcome, weary travelers, greeted a whimsically petal-soft voice from ground level. Scarecrow stepped back as a vibrant sunflower rose from the earth, its petals the colors of honey, pale dew and crimson twilight, lifted in a lilting bloom. 2 elongated petals shaped its eyes, golden disc pupils shimmering with regal beauty. Its stem twisted into hands and legs, their ever-flowing forms shifting, hinting at immutable nature. Hello, Miss Flower, Scarecrow offered breathlessly, already in awe. May I say your radiance is stunning? I am the golden sunflower, Scarecrow. No less, no more. She spoke, her words flowing with harmony and grace. Crows love flowers, Mr. Crow chirped. With legs extending, the golden sunflower rose to the crow's height. Avians, few may they be, are ever friends of my kind, gentle wanderer. I don't think we need that. Scarecrow, grinning from ear to ear, bowed his head in reverence as the majestic creature's smile graced him directly. He sought words, but any felt irrelevant in her presence. The only thing he could manage was a finger pointed toward himself as he stuttered, Scarecrow. However, her smile faltered as she glanced towards his other shoulder. The tiny creature, Pebble, clung fiercely to the rock. The golden sunflower's expression hardened with disdain. You are not welcome back, Pixie. With a fierce shake of her head, Pebble shouted, How about a taste of this? She jumped off Scarecrow's shoulder, flinging the rock at the golden sunflower as she plummeted toward the ground. The flower's vine-like stem curved aside, avoiding the flying rock and catching Pebble before she hit the earth. Turning to Mr. Crow, Scarecrow whispered, What's a pixie? His feathery companion shrugged. Screaming from within the golden sunflower's grasp, Pebble cried, Slaves, attack! Rip that sunflower to shreds! Scarecrow leaned over. What's a slave? I thought we were servants. Whatever! Kill! 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 Pebble commanded. The outburst ended heedlessly as the golden sunflower tossed the pixie into a nearby flower bed, which sprang to life in a whirlwind of grace and elegance. A vibrant purple lilac rose to catch her. The golden sunflower's soft laughter washed away Pebble's cries. The commanding creature, with vines raising her above even Scarecrow's height, turned away. "My children," she sang, her words that calmed to a storm. "We welcome a crow, a scarecrow, and the pixie to our gardens." With the dipping of the sun past the horizon, all of the flower beds in the fields nearby and afar sprang to life in an array of wildflowers, daisies, roses, chrysanthemums, and a lone purple-black cosmos. As the clouds passed, the moon showered the fields with a celestial glow. Scarecrow looked around in awe at the countless flowers gazing up at him. Fear, wonder, and intrigue filled their petaled looks. Who would have thought flowers were real, or could talk? Well, what did he know? He was just a scarecrow. He gazed up at the golden sunflower in all her beauty. The moonlight radiating off her golden petals was enchanting. But Pebble, Scarecrow dropped to a knee, bowing low with hands raised. "I apologize for her behavior. We've come for—" "Put me down, you wannabe flower ingrates!" the pixie screamed. Pebble screamed as she was tossed to a trio of wildflowers rising from the earth. "Please, let her go," Scarecrow begged, pressing his hands together imploringly. "Dumb slave, I said attack, shoot, fire, punch. You're like twice there." Pebble's words grew muffled as a leaf covered her mouth. With a smile of pure delight, the golden sunflower continued. "Alas, our deity tolerates no aggression." Scarecrow glanced sideways at Mr. Crow, who murmured, "Defeat is the path of least resistance." Let's see. I don't think that was the right dialogue for the crow. Scarecrow glanced sideways at Mr. Crow, who murmured, "Eyes are the friends of defeat." He rolled his eyes, uncertain if the crow was entertained or lost. Eyeing the nearby flowers, Scarecrow spread his arms. What did she do? Let's fix this. Scarecrow rolled his eyes, uncertain if the crow was entertained or lost. Eyeing the nearby flowers, warily, he spread his arms. What did she do? Muffled cries rose from the pixie. Muffled cries rose from Pebble as she wriggled in vain against the wildflowers. All right, and I think I caught up to where I was at. So I'm going to continue on the feedback that I had received previously. I will throw on some music. Feel free to hang out.
Hey, what's up, Francisco? I figured I would take a brief writing pause because that's actually a really, really good question. Like, make sure it's actually centered. So, Francisco, you asked a really, really great question. I wanted to respond to it. Sometimes I will if I'm, sometimes when I get really good at questions based on how I'm doing. But Francisco, you asked, quick one for you when you come back. What would be your single most important tip for creating a social community for your own novels and fellow writers? So, as we know from writers, authors, we live in a day and age where if you want to sell books, you have to create some type of social media presence. It doesn't matter whether you are self publishing or whether you are indie publishing or traditional publishing. You have to create some type of online brand. That is just that's the game. That is the nature of being an author in 2025. So I've taken a single strategy, whether this is right or whether this is wrong. This is what I wanted to do. I'm not trying to be a career author. There are a lot of writers who do that. What I wanted to do was I wanted to create a writing community because I love the entire writing process.
And after 700 streams, hopefully, hopefully, you've seen how much I appreciate every part of the writing process, from brainstorming, revising, editing, and eventually the marketing side of things. And I wanted to create a writing community and also do my writing. Whereas a lot of writers, they're going into it to create an author brand. And there's no right or wrong way to go about this. I think you have to figure out what are your specific goals and what do you want to achieve. For a lot of writers, their goals are, I want to write a book and I want to make money off of it. Maybe that's make money as a hobby, maybe do it as a full-time career eventually. But understanding what your goals are is the first step. Once you know your goals, then you can figure out your strategy. For me, because I realized, like, yes, I do want to, because I do this full time, but I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to make money off of my books. It's going to take time. Hence, reason that I focus on the writing service side of it. Writer coaching, book editing, all the YouTube stuff, and everything else in between. So when I think about your question, Francisca, because it's an absolutely phenomenal question, this is something that all writers are trying to figure out, especially when you're trying to figure out your branding. How do you go about creating a social community? How, the real question you're asking is, how are you trying to create some type of online presence for your books, for yourself, so that way when readers find out about you, they want to become part of your readership and essentially buy books. The truth is, there are many different strategies to do this. You could you could pick a social media platform and be consistent. Understanding social media is its own game. You could go live and go to bookstores and sell your books and do live book launches and writing events. You could go to book conferences and set up stands. I'm like, I know there's a better word for it. And go to stands and sell yourself and sell your books and talk to people about your books. The truth is, there's so many different strategies. There's no right or wrong strategy. Once you know your goal, then you can figure out what strategy is right for you. Maybe you live in an area where you can go to bookstores and it's easier for you to go set up bookstore events in person. Maybe you live in an isolated area and it's not easy to go to bookstores, and it all has to be done online. For me, you guys know, I wanted to create a writing community online. Everyone knows about Scarecrow, right? I'm doing it on the journey. That's one of the reasons that I started the live streaming process, because I wanted to hold myself accountable and include you in the journey, because I think writing is incredible. I want more people to be inspired by the process and to not give up. True talk. It's hard. Writing a book is not an easy process, because a lot of writers love the ideation part of writing a book, but they usually get deterred by the revising and the editing, especially when editing costs money and book covers cost money. You got to save up money to invest in a hobby, and especially when it's not bringing in money yet, it's a whole process. So definitely a very great question, Francisco. Those are just kind of some of my thoughts that come to mind as I think about the book process. I could probably do like 10 workshops, a bunch of videos about this very specific process. I hope this helps out just a little bit. You're always more than welcome to ask specific questions, but like social media strategy, author branding, book marketing, there's so many different strategies, and there's no right or wrong answer. That's the truth, and that's the hard thing. Oh, wow, I can see the difference now that you raise it. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, and I mean, I thought about this really early on, Francisco. I've been writing my entire life, but I knew that I wanted to create a writing community, but I also wanted to keep myself accountable and consistent. So something that I'm always trying to learn and figure out is, how do I balance doing writing sprints and writing a book while also creating a writing community? The writing community stuff is like the story and critique show, right? Where I'm doing live readings and live critiques. It's when I do things like the fiction contest, like Freaky Friday, Faded Fantasy, the WriteNow A Thon. Those things build a writing community. What are things that I'm doing for myself? The writing sprints, when I work on Scarecrow, when I launch the book website. I am always hustling. I work 24/7 because I'm pursuing that entrepreneurial lifestyle. And like that's the lifestyle that I want to pursue. And that makes me very happy. Not everybody is able to pursue that type of lifestyle. You have to know how much time do you have per week, per month to be able to invest in what your writing journey is. It's different for everybody. Once you recognize what your goals are, once you know what your goal is, once you know how much time can you actually invest, some people, maybe it's only a couple hours a week. If you have a family, if you have kids, if you're going to school, if you have a 40-hour-a-week job, the amount of time that you can invest per week is probably on the smaller side, and that's all right. That's why creating a consistent writing schedule is so, so, so important. Whether that writing schedule is writing once a week or writing 7 days a week. Create the writing schedule, be consistent. And we all know, like the thing is like, consistency is the key. Like we all know that, but putting it into practice is difficult when we're dealing with life, with health, with family, with school, with trying to have a hobby and all the things in between. So I figured I would just live stream my entire process and you guys can we'll see if it works and go from there. Hey, what's up, JL? I'm always happy to see you in the stream, my friend. Let's see. May I comment on this question? The biggest thing I've seen from my fellow pro friends is constantly posting on the SocMed thing of your choice, on the SocMed thing of your choice. And I mean, so I mean, I think speaking to this, JL, is it comes down to consistency, right? So I pursue the social media strategy. I pursue a daily strategy of being on multiple platforms. Obviously, YouTube is where we've been the strongest at, having surpassed 1,000 subscribers. While I also post consistently on Facebook and Instagram and Twitch. Everyone's a little different. I pursue the Gary Vaynerchuk approach where I'm like, all right, I believe be on all platforms, but invest your time into one platform and then also try to post consistently on other platforms when you're able to. The name of the game is consistency. It's not do the best post, it's do the best, the highest quality post that you can with your lifestyle as consistently over years. When you can figure out how to do consistency over a long period of time, that is how you build a social media following. That's how you build a readership, and that's how you build all the things. And then however you want to go about that, maybe you prefer YouTube, maybe you prefer Instagram, maybe you prefer TikTok. Pick the social media platform that you like and then figure out how do you reach your readers on that platform? So this is absolutely a great question. I think that's an absolutely great recommendation, JL. Aw, always my friend. Always trying to speak from the heart. I hope that helps just a little bit. Un poquito. Yeah, with boosting and spending money, and I mean a lot of authors who do it full time generally say that the only way they're able to sell books on a higher volume, especially self-published authors, is through advertising. Based on my research, create ads that work based on ad structures that are already doing well. Create your own ads, make your own style, and then once an ad that you make, and I say ad, but it's just a social media post. Once a social media post that you're making does well, then you invest money into it. You want to make sure that a post that you're doing does well organically, and then you invest money. Invest money once a post does well organically. Once it does well organically, then you know people like it. Then your money is more likely to be effective. That's my thoughts on it. I've done a lot of experimenting with Instagram. I haven't figured it out yet, but you know what? That's the journey. Like I love trying to figure it out. I'll get there eventually. We grow over time, and you know what? We do what we do because I love the process. Let's see, Francisco. So, are you full time with the writing, editing craft? I'm really inspired right now. Glad that I could involve you in this, include you in this conversation. So, Francisco, so if you're not familiar with my journey, essentially what I did, so I've been writing my entire life. I've always known that I wanted to be a writer. That's why I went off to college for creative writing. And I spent many years trying to figure out like, how to do screenwriting. I spent many years in Hollywood trying to figure it out. I did I worked in customer service for many, many years and I made some really great money. But I eventually ran up to a wall realizing that even though I was making a lot of money, I wasn't happy with what I was doing. The work was good, the company was great, but I wasn't happy inherently. So I did the very rare thing, and I don't recommend this unless you are in a place in your life where you're able to make these changes. But I did the rare thing where I basically restarted my life. I went back to zero. I moved in with my family. I reset everything to zero because I wanted to lead a life where I could do all the things that I was happy about. I wanted to lead a life where I could love what I do 100% of the time. And a lot of people are able to lead a life where they can work a 9 to 5, they can work 40 hours a week, and they can do this stuff on the side. I tried that for many years. That is not for me. It works well for a lot of people, not for me. I wanted to lead a life where I can write 100% of the time, where I can love working with writers, working on my stories, connecting and networking with other writers. Like that's the lifestyle that I want to lead. So I restarted my life in the attempt to go towards that path. It was hands down one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's not easy. Going towards entrepreneurial life is not an easy thing to do. There's highs. Being able to do these live streams and work with the writing community and get paid for my editing and for my 20, 30 plus years of like writing expertise is incredible. But being a new business owner has its obstacles. Learning how to do the things correctly, learning how to advertise, like it's a journey. And figuring out all the different points of like, all right, well, how do I make enough to pay the bills? And then how do I do the writing things to make sure that I'm happy, and trying to figure out the right balance is part of the journey. And I love the journey itself. So I think for me, it's a lot of learning. And you know what? If I were to, it's my hope that I live to the rightful average age of my 80s. But if I were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, I want to minimize all the regret and try to do all the things that I wanted to do in life. And I continue to believe that my decisions up to this point, restarting my life the way that I did, was the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. That hasn't changed. Even with all the hardship, even with all the turmoil and all the wins and all the things in between, best decision I've ever made. And it's so crazy when I look back on these past 2 years. I've met so many cool writers who live all over the world. I meet writers who live on the Central Coast of the US, who live on the East Coast. I meet writers who live in Canada, who live in the UK, who live in Australia, who live in China, in Indonesia, in India. And I'm like, it's just so crazy. And I think that's phenomenal. There's a lot of negativity out there. And I think it's phenomenal that I live in a day and age where I can meet writers around the world. And that's what I feel grateful for. JL, I gotta tell you something. My goal is to have the hotspot launched. All right, let's throw this up. Tell you something. My goal is to have the hotspot launched by the WriteNow A Thon. You're my inspiration for my deadline. Oh, that's so cool, JL. I'm like so happy to hear that. And I'm pretty sure the hotspot is your YouTube channel, if I recall correctly. So I'm pretty sure your goal is to launch your YouTube channel by the Right Now A Thon. Of course, if you're here on the stream, the Right Now A Thon is our huge end of year writing event. We have an incredible amount of authors signed up for this event. I'll be making the official announcement tomorrow with the schedule and the details and all the fun things. We got a lot of cool authors signed up for the event. So definitely make sure to come back tomorrow and we'll be talking about the Right Now A Thon. But that is so cool, JL. I'm really, really happy that you're using it as a launching event. There's going to be a lot of writers coming to hang out. So it's a great time. It's an absolutely great time, I think, to launch a YouTube channel. So I hope it works out. I hope you get a lot of new viewers. I know I will be a viewer if I'm not already. Absolutely incredible. Like, gee, nothing will make you realize how much you hate people faster than customer service. I worked customer service for 10 years. I calculated how many people did I work with. I've probably served well over 20,000 people. No, actually, wait, was that right? I think I think I calculated this at some point. I've served well over 200,000 people. And what I've learned is that everybody comes from their own walk of life. You don't know where people are coming from. So just be kind and be as aware as possible. If people are negative to you, don't respond with negativity. Let them deal with their own negativity because they're probably just projecting their own problems onto you and they are probably going to get worse. Great call, JL. I've done a lot of customer service, so I totally understand that. Francisco, I truly do admire your lifestyle. I similarly believe that we should strive to do what we have passion for. Do you do mentorship? I'm quite interested in learning more from your valuable experience. So, Francisco, that's actually a really, really great question. I think the way that I frame mentorship, I do a lot of writer coaching. So what I do is I work with different writers in trying to help them navigate their writing journey. And every writer, it's a little different. For some writers, it's talking about, all right, how do I get from writing, editing my book to author branding? For other writers, it's, okay, I just want to talk through brainstorming my next book. For some writers, it's, okay, my book's done. I need to talk through the social media marketing side of it. You guys have seen what I've done, right? So like you've seen, like, YouTube is my specialty. I've learned a lot and networked from other writers, and it just depends on where you're at in your writing journey. Francisco, I'm actually running a huge discount right now. I'm running a huge discount through the end of the year. What I actually highly recommend is you should sign up for a discounted coaching. I have to go find the link. I was like, it's somewhere. In a perfect world, I had it linked all below, but clearly I wasn't smart. Okay. So, Francisco, what you should do is you should actually sign up. I'm doing discounted coaching right now. What you should do is sign up for a discounted coaching session, and I'd be happy to talk through. What we would do is we'd kind of talk through your writing journey, talk through your goals, where you're at, and what you want to achieve. Realistically, a lot of it is understanding where you're at today, and then where do you want to get to, and then what is the path, whether that's writing, editing, social media marketing, or something in between to get there. What I've learned this past year from the writers that I coach is I've learned that what helps them the most is being able to talk through their strategies. Sometimes it's talking through like editing their work. Sometimes it's literally just talking through what they're thinking as they're kind of going through the social media branding side of it. A lot of writers hate social media branding, so it's a little different for everybody. Let's see. Let me go find. I have to go find the writing thing. Okay, so here you go. So Francisco, I'll drop this in the chat. I just dropped the form. What I would recommend is sign up at the form. We can hop into a I'm blanking. We can hop into a free consultation and we can kind of talk to what you're looking to achieve. So, but right now I'm running the discounted coaching, so now is actually like the perfect time to sign up for it. I'm basically running it until my coaching and writing spots are full through January. So I usually try to run like a discounted thing through the end of the year because like creating a book takes a lot of money, and I know like my prices generally with book editing tend to be like they're so industry pricing tends to be very expensive, and I know what it is. Like industry pricing, if you're looking to get your book edited, tends to cost about 1 to 3,000 on average. For a quality editor who's edited books and has expertise, I generally price myself right below industry pricing, but I know it costs money. It's not an easy thing because I mean the amount, and as a book editor, I'm like, well, how long does it take to edit a book? It takes like 40 to 60 hours to edit a book. Like real talk, it takes a lot of time to edit a book. It is not an easy thing. So I get why it is priced the way it is. But Francisco, I hope that helps out a little bit. You're always welcome to email me questions if like you have any additional questions or anything comes to mind. Yep, Jail. So like, yes, the hotspot with Jail is my YouTube channel. Got 4 vids ready to go. WriteNow A Thon is going to be super cool. So everybody better be there. Yes. Everybody better be at the WriteNow A Thon. It's going to be absolutely epic and it's going to be great. I think we have like well over like 60 or 70 guests for the WriteNow A Thon. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I like everybody should absolutely be at the WriteNow A Thon. For those of you who are just hopping in and you don't know about it, the WriteNow A Thon is our end of year celebration where we are doing where writers can come in and celebrate by doing critique streams or doing critique activities, writing sprints, games, workshops, conversations, and different activities in between. We're going to have all these different types of activities. What it is, it's an end of year writing festival to celebrate the art of writing, to celebrate the progress we've made, and to celebrate our goals into 2026. So absolutely everyone should join us for the WriteNow A Thon. It's the last weekend of December and it's going to be bomb.com. JL, like, pro tip, never say I've serviced 2,000 people at Smart Writer. I'll see myself out. Good. JL, you crack me up. You crack me up so much. I'm so entertained. Good advice, my friend. You have a great attitude. Go forth and go do great things. Kaufman is wonderful to work with. Aw, I appreciate that, JL. I always appreciate having you in the community. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Thanks. I'll shoot you an email. Yep. All right. Sounds good. I know the WriteNow A Thon is going to be the WriteNow A Thon is going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be absolutely epic. And on that note, I feel like I've made some pretty good progress. We're kind of hitting that 1 hour and 30-minute mark. So I think on that note, I'm probably going to call it a night. I feel like I've gotten a little decent amount accomplished. We're kind of in the middle of the chapter too. I'm at a really good place in the chapter. This is such a good chapter. Like, that I'm like such a good point in the chapter. All right, but I can feel it. All right, I know it's time to call it. But all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Once again, these late night writing sprints, I really enjoy. I enjoy including you in the process as I go through this late night writing session. It's been absolutely incredible. I am very happy with how this chapter is coming out. This chapter is coming out like incredible. I already loved the chapter to begin with, and the feedback that I've gotten on it and how I'm responding to it is really, the chapter is just getting even better. If you want to check out more about the Last Scarecrow and you want to learn more about the journey, you want to learn more about what's happening, you should go check out thelastscarecrow.com. It's linked down in the YouTube description, but this is your way to stay up to date and check out more about the Last Scarecrow universe. All right, my friends, come back and hang out tomorrow. Tomorrow will be an update stream as we'll be talking about the WriteNow A Thon at some point tomorrow afternoon. So come back and hang out, and I appreciate you. JL, Francisco, thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you. And most importantly, if you're enjoying the stream, tap that like button. Help us show the algorithm that writing streams are cool. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. It's time to write.
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now, not right now, but right now. Read now, right now. Is that right?
Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow.